Alrighty, so let's get this stream going, folks. Okay, we're gonna do some work redoing the MU receptacles. So I'm just gonna get right into it. We're gonna make some shadow boxes. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun time. And yeah, that's about all there is to it. Actually, we'll cut that edge off right there. Because I really just want the box, and then I can adjust it later in 3ds. I'll bring it over here. Alright, so I got this. Control C, new, we'll do it by pixel, paste, and then save as. Drag horizon. How do I type? What do I type? There we go. Shadow boxes. And then this will be MU front. And you could just save it as a PSD. You don't have to save it as anything, or a JPEG, whatever works. I just keep the PSDs. Speaking of which, I dropped this link in our thing. Video link copied. I keep getting stuck in this rut where I'm just not satisfied. Like I want to do better. I want to make the models, you know, more detailed and whatnot. But you know, anyways, if you got questions on shadow boxes, how to go about doing those, let me know. They aren't too difficult to set up. They aren't too difficult to do. But what we are going to do real quick is do the other side. Because we need 4. We're going all out on this. All or nothing, baby. Okay. Let me see here. And actually, now that I think about it, we'll look at the actual technical. So that piece. Kind of tapers in. Yeah, I just love figuring this stuff out. You know what? Basically, not gonna overcomplicate it. Not gonna overcomplicate it. We're gonna do the top view though, because that's going to give us probably a better idea of what we're dealing with here. So, when you're following shadow boxes, it's up to you to decide how detailed oriented you want to be with it. How exact you want to be with following diagrams. Because of course, there's legitimate limitations with 3D software, and there's also the idea that, if we modeled these springs in as they are, and I actually figured out some cool tricks with that with photo texturing. Well, photo texturing. We'll use a render, and then we can apply that. It'll be really cool. You'll see when we work on this a little bit more. What I do need to figure out, so that's the laser thingy. Need to figure out some dimension stuff. Okay, so basically from the back, that's 3.05 inches. 3.05 inches. Okay. Control C, file, new. Boom. Not gonna overcomplicate this. I keep saying that, but I'm gonna end up overcomplicating it. MU top. Okay. So now, what we're going to do is go into 3ds Schmacks. We're gonna start out by making a plane. Not an airplane, just a face plane. And we are going to center this right here. And that's going to be great. That's wonderful. Next, we're going to size this. So we're doing our top here. And basically, for the front, this is the front right here. Now we're looking at it from the front view. The front of it is... So the width is 6.88 inches. Oh man, I got a funny story. I spent ages working on a fire truck. You know what? I'll just show you guys since, we're here. And I mean, this fire truck looked pretty dang good. It was my first actual excuse me, allergies kicking in. It was my first piece of non-railroad equipment that I started working on. And what is it? Okay, yeah, it was the Seagrave. I'm trying to find if I got any renders of it right now. Would they be? I'm trying to find the Bandicam videos. It's gotta be in here. It's gotta be. Is it not? Where did all of my renders go? Because now I want to show you guys what happened. Because it's really sad. gosh. Alright, let's see here. Where are you at, fire truck? Okay. So, this is the fire truck I was working on, my Seagrave. And you're gonna notice a couple things that are a little off about it. Really weird looking, but at the same time, I got all of that work done on it, and I realized real quickly something didn't look quite right about it, and I couldn't put my finger on it until I was just chilling out staring at it, and I said, "Wow, she's a long girl, or she's a wide girl." Turns out, when I made the shadow boxes for the fire truck, I didn't take into account the extra space. So I basically put the full width of the shadow box. Because I don't know how to really explain it. There is some, like, space given, and I basically just widened the whole thing. So I got this far before realizing it. And then I had to start over. And I actually have a couple renders of the new one, but I have not touched that in forever. I just got so busy, and I'm trying to finish the Horizon project. Trying to. But let's see here. Any good pictures that kind of show it off? Open image in new tab. Yeah. So I fixed it up, made it look better, did a little more work, getting it more detailed, fixed up a bunch of stuff that I really thought needed to get fixed up on it, and I was actually really happy with how it came out on this. So yeah, it just sucks that it took that long, and still I would probably go back and start redoing this just because of new methods of modeling that I discovered. But anyways, shadow boxes are a really weird thing. You don't want to overcomplicate them, but at the same time, they can be very annoying. So 3.05 on this next one. 3.05 inches. So right here, default shading. Oh, we're looking at it from the front. I need the top view here. Oh, what did I just do? No, I did editable poly. And I'm gonna turn down these width and height segments. And we'll turn on the polys so we can see what's cooking. So technically it says there's 2 polys. Why? Why does it say there's 2 faces? That's a good question. 3ds Max. Let's see, what happens if I convert this to an editable poly? Okay, so it goes to 1 face. Never mind. Alright, we're good. I'm an idiot. That's nothing new. Okay, mind you. There's nothing new. Always been an idiot. I'll just raise that up there. Next, looking at the front view now, we're going to do another plane. This time it's going to be an airplane, I'm kidding. Center this in the middle here. And then we're looking at 688, 688 inches. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I'm taking Italian and now that makes sense. They don't use periods with measurements. And I think that might be a European thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because the diagrams I have are commas, and I just kind of figured, well, they're just probably, periods, but, But definitely in Italian, when you say like 1000, where you would typically put a comma in English, you put a period. And that represents basically the same thing, I think. Something like that. I'm barely passing Italian. Don't take my word for anything here. We're just getting through it all. I'm 25 minutes into the stream and all I have is 2 planes. Holy cow. Oh man. Fun times. The reason I don't need a side, because that top view is gonna do it for us. I'm talking on my fry again. That's not good for my voice. So now I need to go to the horizon final shadow boxes. MU top, and I'll just drag that there. MU front, and I'll drag that there. Now I need to figure out, do I have this one orientated properly? Let's see, so this is the front, because you can tell where the spring is going. Yep. Alright. God dang it. Alright. From the trains forums, who suggested the idea? Who suggested what idea? Will you be using the ACS couplers? Oh, I remember. Okay, yeah, no. The scripts. I have no idea yet. I am one thing at a time right now. Scripting comes last. I'm gonna do what I'm actually good at and then try and actually finish this up. And we'll see. And I say what I'm good at, but I don't know if you would actually call me being good at modeling. So, who knows? Alrighty. So, next, what we're going to do is we're going to make a cylinder to start this out. 18 size is fine at this point. Looking at the diagrams and all the technical sheets as well, just to see what we got going on here. Couple ways I can do this. There's a lot of different variations of the MU receptacle. So I'm gonna do you know what? Maybe we can do something like that. Diameter now. Let's see if I can find any technical specifications on how that goes. Are you kidding me? Like, you wouldn't include that information in your technical diagrams. Technical diagrams are weird because it's like all the information that you think you need will be there. But it really isn't. So we can kind of roughly guesstimate this. First things first though, let's actually center this with that. And then we'll take the radius. It's a little bit under, I'm gonna say like 2.75 inches for the radius. Okay. Let's go 2.85. Because I'm just sheer guessing. Alright, that looks a little bit closer. Let's turn out the field of view. I can get a little bit closer to this. Let's try 9.5. 2.95 and see how that goes. That's a little too big. So, I think. Let's try 90. 2.9. Boom! Ah, that's right on the money there. Alright. Wow, sorry. Again, allergies and everything, so sorry if I scared you. Generate mapping chords. I don't know why I'm doing it like this right now. Because part of it is this. It also helps if we do this. Where's my material modifier? Okay. We'll turn down the opacity of these settings. Oh, I'm actually really liking the slate modifier. It's makes sense, I guess. I don't know, the slate material editor kind of helps out with a workflow. But yeah, so we'll set that to 50 right now so we can just see. And I just have it like this for now. That's going to give me a basis just kind of to work off of. Now we're going to make a plane. And we're going to center it. Flip this one. And then I'm actually probably going to bring it right about there. Let's see, does it give me any information as to how thick that is or not? So I'm trying to model that backing plate piece. Okay, the backing plate. Is there any information? You know what? It don't matter right now. What matters is I just kind of line this up, and what I'll do is I'll just snap it to this edge, make life a little bit easier. Convert to edit the poly. We'll select this edge right here. We'll do that, and then I'll jeez. See, but that looks like it's right. Hold on, I gotta figure this out. So is that or is that not the backing plate? Trying to read these diagrams. Yeah. So what's going on here? Did I not line that up properly? I feel like I should have. Oh, no, I absolutely did not. Never mind. Sorry. Again, holy cow, I was freaking out over nothing. I thought I already set the, I already thought I set that up properly. I did not. Hopefully what we're going to be doing is using a method called planar mapping, and it's just kind of a general term used. Or not planar mapping, but planar modeling. So instead of making, like what I'm doing right now, kind of looks like I'm making a box, or using cylinders and all that, I'm not going to be doing that. What I'm doing is I'm using planes and I'm extruding them to create all the shapes that I need. And then what I will do here is I will clone this, and then I'm going to bring that in there. And I'm going to hide that selection. No, not wrong selection. That selection. I'm going to hide that selection. And you want to do all of your chamfering and everything else before you do your bullion procedures. If you do your bullion procedures and you make a cut, it gets messy. So in order to combat that, you want to try and get the general shape of everything first. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these edges here. We're going to open up our chamfer tool, and it gets kind of messy here. I guess I could technically find out the actual chamfer on it. If I pay attention, the chamfer the radius of the chamfer is 11.08? That don't make sense. Wait a minute, is this in inches? Oh, it's in millimeters. Good Jeebus, Lord of mercy. All of these diagrams are in different units. Scale 1 to 1. Where are the units? Dimensions are in millimeters. I'm looking at the dummy receptacle. Those are the drawings that I am using right now. And I think the dummy receptacles, those are in inches. Can you imagine that? Ouch, that kind of hurts. So, let's see here. So we need millimeters, I guess, for these. Can you... Honestly, it's like, okay, I can work in metric and I can work in inches, but please, for the love of goodness, make your technical diagrams, use 1 unit. Make it easy. Unit setup. Millimeters. Chamfer. And it's 11.8 millimeters. 11.08 millimeters. And look at that. That works a lot better. I mean, of course, it's not going to be perfectly right on the money because there's going to be some discrepancies with shadow boxes. It sucks. It be like that, folks. But we'll work with it. Don't worry. But this means I can use some of the more detailed drawings that it provides with a little bit more information to it. I just hope I didn't mess anything else up looking at that. So I've now gone from inches to millimeters, and I'm going to be going so much back and forth. It's annoying. It's so annoying when you get into this. And then we get these bolt holes. Now I gotta figure out like what size bolts they use. I'm just gonna assume they're gonna be slightly bigger than that or not. What does it look like? What do the drawings say? Yeah, okay, so that just represents the hole. It doesn't represent the mounting plate. I have 2 screens set up. I have one with drawings and other with the actual 3ds Max on. So I'm looking back and forth on that. I don't want to show 2 screens though, just in case there's stuff that can't really show. So don't want to get into trouble or anything with anybody. I gotta figure out how do they mount them. What kind of screws are they using to attach these puppies? Let's see here. What does Flickr have to show me? And go. Ooh. Okay, get some good pictures here. Okay, so we're looking at hex heads. Or no, are they? No, they're not. They're the 8-headed screws. I love this so much, guys. You have no idea. Okay, there we go. Alright, easy enough. Easy enough. So I'm hoping this says where the points are between each of these bolts from the center point to that. 12.67. $12.67 millimeters. Oh boy. Oh geez, math. It escapes me all the time. We're gonna do 8-sided bolt head. The radius, or the diameter, is 10.92. So 5.46 millimeters. 5.46 millimeters. Oop. I did not mean to do that. So let's turn that off. Boom, there's that. We said 5.46. 46 millimeters. So that sets us up for at least understanding how big these are going to be. So you can kind of say that's about right there. And then we'll just bump it up ever so slightly to 15.46 millimeters. That's not right. Let's see what happens if we do one, because I can work. Seven. Yeah, right about there. I think 7's gonna be just about right. Absolutely gonna be. Actually, these are a little small, not gonna lie. So I think they need to be. Because keep in mind, we're doing the bolt head right now. We're going to use our tape measure because we want to take it from this point and actually I want to specify the length, and the length is 12.67. Is there a way to get that like just straight? Oh, 12.67. There's probably a better way of doing this. Using snaps. just going to use my typical method of doing this. Works a little bit easier for me. You can always come up with your own methods of measuring stuff out if you want to use math. I don't quite care for using math. 0.67 millimeters by 12. Okay. And then that just makes this so much easier. Center to object. Because all I gotta do is this. And boom, there's my center point. And I just find it. What about there? Is that right? Heck if I know. That is right. And then wrong thing. Sometimes the selection on this thing is a pain in my butt. That probably comes out of. We'll see. Height. Let's see here, 1 millimeter? Nah, it's too little. 5 millimeters. Yeah, I like that. That's a good number. So now, we'll just take my little measurement dummy thing. Effect pivot only. And now I'll just bring it up to that corner right there. I'll just place that right there. Or not, because they're lower. I see. I see what they did there. I just noticed it. 136.65. The length. Alright. 136.65 millimeters. Boom, bada bing. And then we'll affect the pivot so that goes right there. And I'll bring it to the center of that. Alright, so now, yeah, that lines up. Look at that. Measurements, man. It's great. So what we're going to do now is we're going to convert this into an editable poly. We're going to delete that back face. And this is something I kind of figured, and I got into a slight disagreement with someone on the Orin forums about this actually, about kind of mapping as you go. And I guess more in terms, I like to map as I go with bolts now, rather than, you know, just big objects. But like I'll map this guy first, and then I'll copy it, because then I can just copy the mapping for it. So this is kind of the point, and you'll see this, but this is going to be on a little bit smaller scale. How far do I want to go with this? I'm not really going to go too far. It's a bolt head. Put a screw around, or put a socket head around it, call it good, you'll be fine. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to deselect that. We're going to go to unwrap UVWs, open the editor, and this makes it pretty simple. You just take that, we'll move it down. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to flatten map this, and I'm going to open up text tools, because I don't know if you can notice it, but basically this isn't perfectly flat, and I kind of like being a perfectionist when possible. So we'll fix that. We'll move this about right there. And these are the faces here. I just like to set them next to each other. Like that. And there's actually two ways that you can do this. So we can take that and do a quick planar map and then do a relax on it. I like that method too. Kind of saves space, keeps everything connected. Although you have to be okay with a little bit of deformity in the map. You can kind of see that. And if I scale this down, you'll see a little bit more of it. But I got a student copy to Substance Painter, so that should actually kind of help just a little bit. But also, this is a bolt. It's going to be painted red. It's not going to be insane. It's a very small detail. So we'll map it like that, and we'll call it good. So there's two methods that you could do. You could do the one where you separate the face from all the sides, or you could do it like this, and it just depends. Typically, when we get to parts that are like this cylinder here, the purple one, I would do the other method because that's where you don't want that deformity. But on a screw head that's just going to be chilling out, there's not really a need because no one's going to get right up next to it and be like, oh, there's some deformity there. No one's going to do that. So, save a little bit of time. Collapse to, select yes because we're okay with it. And now we can copy this. And we're just going to bring it up to that point right there. And that sets us up really nicely. And then I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to take this thing right here. And I'm going to change the pivot real quick. We're going to change it to this far side here. We're going to move it over to this far edge here. I'm going to clone this guy again. And we're just going to bring him over here like that. And then I could just, oh, dang it. No, bad. Don't mess with my working pivots. Okay. Clone, copy. I'll bring it up to there. So now, we've got our bolt heads and they're actually placed in a decent place, which is great. So, we'll hide that selection. And all of these, what we'll do here real quick is we will attach them. Now there's a couple things that we can do in the map, and this is just something to think about. It's not I don't really want to worry about it right now, but this is something I just want to bring up since we're looking and exploring everything. So because we copied everything, each four of these bolts is stacked right on top of each other. So we could do a texture bake completely like that and it would be completely fine because there's not really any shadowed edges. However, you might want to take one at a time and you can move them around kind of like this and then set them up like that. That's perfectly fine too. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So, just so you know. So, but there's multiple ways to do this, and it really depends on what you're going for, what effect you're wanting to achieve. So now we're going to select this backwards plate. I'm going to hide that real quick. Select all. Unhide all. I know there's a better way of doing this, but I don't want to get the menu set up because that's actually a pain in the butt to set up. So hide unselected. And then what I'm going to do, I'm thinking about this. And I'm going to do it anyways. Boolean, add operands, subtract. Okay, so we do that. And now this is where we want to turn on edged faces. So you can kind of see what's happening here. This little guy right here, he's going up here to that edge. And that's basically bridging. And we kind of want that because this helps keep things, it keeps 3ds Max happy. And the happier 3ds Max is, the better. Oh boy, but it's gonna do this. It's gonna do this, and you should have known it's gonna do that. So I'm just connecting these. And this really comes into play with stuff like smoothing groups, and then just general other things that could go wrong with your model if you're not careful. So I'm just gonna bridge them like that. And then you could take these edges, connect those, connect these two right there. And then this one, let's see, what are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's uneven numbers. I hate uneven numbers. They're weird. Okay, so we could keep it like that and it'll be fine. That's when things start getting a little more complex that you want to really bridge them together, but for all intents and purposes that we're working with right now, this works fine. Edged faces. So now I'm going to select this bad boy here, and we're going to just do a really basic extrude. We're going to bring it right about to there. Alright, so now you're noticing something. Let's take away edged faces. And wireframe override. And we'll address this here in a second. It's really jagged. It's got a lot of jagged edges. What the heck? What's going on? Look at these. They're so smooth. What could be? It's called smoothing groups, folks. And what we're gonna do is we'll worry about that later. We're doing one thing at a time, but I'm also getting easily distracted, which is typical when I model, but you know, is what it is. So yeah, got that going. And now all of this whole backing plate is one piece. Which is kind of what I want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I hope I don't get copyright striked for that. Okay, so that is all one piece. So that's pretty, that's actually, that's okay. That's all right. But there is one other thing that we do want to do. And let's see here, how are we gonna do it? I'll just start out, we'll make a simple box right here. We're gonna do this. And all I'm doing is this is just gonna help me get the shape that I want. And this will help kind of show me, hopefully these diagrams show me the distance between all that mumbo jumbo, all the jazz that I need. Ooh, it also shows the rubber gasket, that's kind of cool. Essentially everything that I can get in one piece, the better it is for mapping, because everything just kind of connects together a lot better. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna overcomplicate that with precision measurements. I am going to guesstimate kind of the thickness there. That's okay. I'll pull that in a little bit. Let's get another top view. So, okay, so I see what's going on. That's just showing the chamfer or the fillet. Just go right about there and that should be fine. No, it actually needs to come back. This whole thing needs to come back. What am I doing? It's a miracle anything gets done. And now I'm gonna bring it back just a little bit more to line up with that. And I think that gives us a good representation of what we're looking for out of this piece. Next. And the reason I'm doing it like this, and also the top edge needs to line up too. I'm doing it like this because I need to get a basic shape. I need to figure out sizing and everything for how I want to do this. So basically I want to make some cuts here. Oh wait, I did the wrong thing. So used to holding shift now. So I want to make some cuts. That are, or some bouillon on this to hopefully kind of give me a little bit about what I want. And I have not cloned that already. So I need to clone it. And I think we move it on the x-axis. Yeah, just like that. And then I'm just going to attach the two. Hopefully this doesn't completely break this. So far, so good. But that doesn't put us in the clear yet. Not yet. I just want to go through. And I guess a good way of doing this is if I convert it to an editable poly and we go to the UVWs, every once in a while, sometimes you'll get a mess of things and it's absolutely annoying. So you select everything, do a flatten map, and what you're looking for in your flatten map are pieces that are basically, oh, what's the word? So if I move this out of the way, move this out of the way, they'd basically be individual lines on this, and you can't map individual lines because they don't have any face properties to them. So it kind of gets annoying. So that's just a one quick way to check it. It's not a perfect way of checking it, but it helps when you're working with stuff. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to start kind of bridging stuff together. Like that. And then I'll take our, I'll do a target weld on these. So I'm just holding shift, doing an extrude, because I know for a fact that I want these pieces to be flush with that. So that's kind of what I am representing right now. And then I'm going to do an extrude from this. I'll hold shift and it'll bring it up like that. It's not really a big deal. And then I'm just going to do a quick snap and I'm going to line all these vertices up so they're flat with each other. And I'm hoping that doesn't cause any issues when we do our when we go to do our chamfer operation. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to add a vertice, because this segment here has 3 vertices, and it's because it's bridging off of that one. And again, we kind of want that bridge. Actually, I wonder, I could probably remove that and then remove that vertice there. So technically though, that should all still be connected right there, because there's still a vertice that's on that face, that bottom face that's welded. But now we don't have to worry about it on that top edge, so we can just kind of bring that out. And I actually don't want to double dip there. I don't want to create extra faces on top of other things. So we'll do, again, target weld. So this is one of those instances where you don't need that third vertice popping up here and going all the way across it, because this is just a flat face. It's not really doing anything. And now, kind of a similar deal that's happening right here. We don't need this on that point, and we can remove that vertice right there. And then what we'll do here is we'll come around and we'll do the same. We'll remove these two. We'll remove those vertices. And what we'll do is we'll attach these points to the corners of these two pieces here, because this essentially takes away the need for that we have these pieces here. It just makes the bridging process a little bit easier on us, which is actually really nice. So in theory we should be able to select that and just do a cap modifier, and that worked great. Same thing with this. Cap modifier. One easy way to find out if you have unwelded vertices is by figuring, or by using this, what is it called, the border selection. Because if you select it and all of a sudden all of your crap it doesn't make a line around the closed edge, so when I select this circle it should go all the way around. If there are unwelded vertices, it would select all of that plus like that line there. Excuse me. So that's how you know if you've got a bad deal going on. So most of the time I highly recommend you take the time to weld your vertices together. It saves you a lot of trouble. Saves you a lot of headache, especially with how great the cap modifier is, or the cap deal is, whatever you want to call it. because that just allows you to quickly cap off of a section without having to weld everything together, which is really nice. There's other ways to also do this, like the threshold weld, but I don't like using that because sometimes it messes stuff up. Also, I want to update you guys on what we did for the marker lights on the coach body. Turns out I was making them wrong the whole time, so I had to redo them again, but they're actually a lot simpler, and that's great. So it kind of saves on polys because I'm starting to go through and remodel a bunch of stuff. Alright, there's something confuzzling me. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, now we're gonna select these, and we're just going to connect them up to the corners there. Just like that. That works out really nice for us. Then we'll select these. And let me figure out the chamfer for it, and we'll be okay. Oh, that's also really interesting what it does. So, actually, this edge kind of comes back just a little bit. What did I do wrong? That's still like that, and that's still like that. Okay. We're not gonna do it like that. Ain't worth it. Ain't worth my time to deal with it right now. And then I'm just gonna kind of we'll do our chamfer modifier. We might actually need to add that third one on the face. I don't know. But I don't think it's causing any problems. Okay. Ah, dang it. Mess that up real quick. Alright. So that looks pretty good. Look at that. So now this back plate is all one piece. Is there anything else I need to do to the back plate? I don't think there really is anything. Oh, there are actually a couple things I need to add to it. Is there like an underneath view of it though? Kinda give me an idea of what I'm working with here. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting indeed. So kind of like in here. We're gonna do this again. Where I'm gonna make a box. Can I do that? And I'm just looking at the outside edge of it. Actually, I wonder. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do it like this. Close that out. And I'm going to squish that. Is this centered? Oh, that's weird. Oh, it's a little bit off. It's not big deal. Actually, let me check this. Are we centered? Yeah, we are centered. And what about this guy? Is he centered? Everything is centered. Okay, so that's just a little small discrepancy. It's no big deal. We can work with it. So I'm gonna take this and I am going to curl up in a ball and cry because I'm tired. Really tired. Compound, boolean, subtract, add operands. And I just realized I don't think I should have done it like that. No, I shouldn't have. Because it basically goes back into... Well, okay, you know what, that kind of works. It's okay. Editable poly, and we're just gonna, again, real quickly check the UVs to make sure that there's no crazy hidden anything that, you know, shouldn't be there. So far, it looks like everything's okay. So, again, on this side, we're gonna go through, we'll remove these, go to these, and we'll remove these two dudes right here. Because, again, we'll be able to bridge that a different way, which is... There we go. Target weld. And this is actually going to create a small issue here, because it doesn't go all the way down. So, we're going to have to add some vertices here. And it's easy. Insert vertex, and I'll just center them for now. And then I'll take these two guys that I just placed, make sure I only have both of them selected, and then I'm going to kind of find the position that I want them to be in. So I'm just moving them. But it'd be different. I wouldn't have to add these if this edge was going to go all the way to the bottom here, and it's not. The reason why that would be an issue to not add these two vertices is because the vertice right here in this corner has to weld to something. Otherwise, you have an edge on top of an edge, and that just creates more polys. So, I mean, like, this is only 319 polygons so far. So if I go, I'm curious. I don't know that this is true, but I suspect that so far I'm under the polygon count for my current HEP or the MU receptacles. Or I could not be. I don't know. It's very possible. I need to respond to some text real quick. Oh, dogs are so good. This was created using a... Yeah, okay. Oh, wow, look at that. 268 polygons. I was curious. But also, this is like really, really, really low poly. This is going to be a little more. So, 319, still not bad. But it's interesting. Still interesting to see. Okay, so respond to some text. Let's look at the chat. Oh yeah, got a like. Thank you to my one viewer for liking this stream. We're getting through it. A little bit at a time. But anyways, yeah, it's a little bit important that we do add these two vertices, and you'll see why. Because I'm going to take these two edges now. We're going to extrude them, and I'm just going to do it a little bit. And I'm going to target weld these real quick, and that's going to mess a couple things up, but it's nothing we can't fix with some snaps. So I'll just turn on the snaps. I have it set to vertex, and I think midpoint too, something like that. And then it just goes right there. And then I'm going to bridge these two edges together. And we'll again do the target weld. Absolutely fantastic. And then I'm curious to see if I'm going to be able to do the chamfer or not for this. 2 millimeters. Is it actually doing... Oh, it might be working. Or it might not be. I don't know. I hope it's working. It'd be really cool if it did. Also, there's something weird going on that I need to address here. Oh, I see what's going on. It added another edge for some reason. And I have no idea why. And I think that just has to do with how we did the bullion. And that's just gonna go all the way around like that. And that doesn't make sense as to why it'd be doing it. Anyways, I'm more concerned about that edge, but I think it's fine. So try 5 millimeters. See if we up this, if that does anything. It's just gonna create problems. 2 millimeters. Okay, yeah, that's just creating problems. Never mind. Okay. So, a couple things we can do. Actually gonna try and go back before we do any of this. And I don't think I can. Because I think what happened, we'll see if I'm right. Unhide all. Okay. Hide unselected. That's actually really weird that it would do it like that. Because it shouldn't have. This whole thing should still be one deal. Remove. I don't know why it's got all these vertices selected. 4, that makes sense. Basically, I want to get rid of all those vertices. I don't know why they're there. Boolean operations, man. They make or break this program. They either work, they work until they don't. Just don't need that extra crap on here. Oh man, that's really dumb. So, again, the good Lord has given us something to work with here. So, we're gonna need to do a couple of adjustments, it looks like. First things first. let's just go ahead and get this one kind of knocked out real quick. This main part right here, we got two vertices selected. Gonna put it right there. I'm loving this. Just having a great time. So hopefully we're done with Boolean operations, because they're a pain in my butt. Okay. Oops. Selected the wrong one. Alright. So that works pretty well. We'll go ahead and cap that, because that's gonna allow us to make some necessary edits using the cap modifier, which is pretty great. So we'll select this and we'll see, yep, that works great. Cap it. Look at that. That's why this is great. We wouldn't be able to do that if we didn't cap off the front, so keep in mind, you know, if you have an open circle or whatever going on, you do need to cap that before you start doing this, because this is just gonna set you up. It's gonna set you up. And then we're gonna do something that's gonna help a little bit with this issue that we're working with. And again, this kind of comes down to the fact that there's no bridging right now. So basically it's reading there's two vertices just chilling out in the middle of this plane, and it's got no idea what's going on. So we're just gonna simply connect them like that. No big deal. So now 3ds Max is reading that they're not just floating out in the middle of the ocean. That's kind of, I guess, the way of looking at these bridges for vertices. They kind of act as a way of telling 3ds that, you know, there's actually some support going on here. So that just kind of helps it figure itself out. Help it find itself. Because sometimes this program needs it. Now, can I do fillet operations? Fillet operations? I always called it fillet, but I guess it's fillet? I don't know. I used to be in design school. Not anymore. Oh, it would be right here if it was. So chamfer, attach, slice plane, make grid align, smooth result, smoothness. Nope, no fillet. That's okay. Chamfer works just as good. But it'd be nice, because then you could, like, fillet these edges, which would be cool. Actually follow the diagram. Oh man, 3ds Max shading really throws me for a curveball, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. That boy ain't right. Okay, what are we doing? We're gonna look at a picture here of a MU receptacle. Yep, easy. Cylinder is what we're gonna do. I don't know why it does this to me. Two millimeters. This goes on that inside edge right there. Oh, that's kind of interesting. They're different. I was gonna add that ribbing, but I guess I don't really need to. So, yeah, that's pretty great. Alright, so since we got this piece now, we'll go ahead, select all these edges here. We'll go ahead and we'll smooth them out. Simple smooth right there. And I think what we'll actually do here is we'll bridge these as well. And see if that kind of helps a little bit. With windows, this is a good thing to do as well, because if you just have something that's just hugely cut out. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I gotta still do that one. I was like, what? But if you have windows that are just cut out in the middle of a plane, you do want to bridge them, because then 3ds Max has a hard time figuring it out. Like, what's going on? It struggles so much with simple stuff. I want to see, can I do a chamfer on this? Is this an option that I have? I guess it is now. That's pretty cool. Alright. I like that. Do a small chamfer. It doesn't need to be extravagant or anything. Did add a couple things that, you know, this is what it auto bridges it, and I'm gonna be honest, that's not a big deal to me. I think that's gonna be perfectly a-okay. So let's go ahead, get this smooth modifier on these edges. and that's also why. So these, I kind of figured. I was like, what is going on here? I think I have auto smooth turned on as well, so that's kind of part of my issue. But I'm like, why are these faces looking like trash? They shouldn't be looking like trash. No, they should not. And what we'll do is we'll do something with these, because I think we can actually bring those down. I don't like them. We'll just take off the smoother for those, for the face at least. So the rounded edge is smooth. So it was getting that deformation because it was like there's a smooth modifier on the rounded edges plus the flat face, and you don't really need that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is what can I do? I could probably just alrighty. So I'm gonna take these points. Because I don't want those extra edges when I can bridge this a little more efficiently. And just a little bit better. So a lot of this is gonna, when you're doing modeling like this, it can be a pain in the butt. And it is a pain in the butt to do. Oh wait, I selected the wrong thing. Let's kind of let's figure out what's going on behind the scenes here. What is this? Now, did that happen from me removing that? Yeah, it did. Okay. So I'm curious to see. So that happened because I did that. If I connect this. Nope, that didn't fix it. So I guess it was that side holding on to it right now. What? Oh, that did that. I was like, why did it do that? I don't want it to do that. Just want it to remove those faces. Yeah, so you can kind of see why bridging your vertices is a little bit important to do, especially in a method like this, because that's keeping 3ds Max in check. Basically, it freaked out and it was like, yo, there's no edges connected here, and it had a moment. I have moments too. We all do. Let's take a look at this. So this is the back plate for the MU receptacle. So now, get to work on the next piece of it. And this time, we get to work on the, what's it called, the cap. So let's see, can I actually get a... I wonder if I can get measurements for that cap. I need to do time lapses or something. That sounds like it'd be fun. But I've been talking to an old friend of mine, and really this modeling comes down to research. So that's always fun. It's fun in of itself. Alright, so I can't find any exact measurements on this. So this will just be one of those things we guesstimate till we get it right. Let's see here. 80 millimeters? Right on it. Kinda. You know, I think for all intents and purposes, I think we got it. I think we got exactly what we need. So we can still utilize the the planar method, which we will be doing, even by just simply designing an object like this. Alright, so my selection is not working. That's wonderful. We're gonna add a slight bevel. Yep, that looks about right. Oh man. get the bevel on there. And ooh, no, we're not gonna put the bevel on yet, because I still need to do that one piece there. So we're gonna do a quick thing here. Control A, unhide all. We're gonna select that guy, hide unselected. Take this guy right here, and I'm going to extend him out to right about there. And he is going to be my dude right there. So I'm going to take this and say, oh, can I take off the smoothing group? There's no smoothing group apparently. Like if I look at it like that. What about this? So if I look at that, there's no smoothing group applied. There is a smoothing group on that. I'm going to take off right now, because I don't want smoothing groups to mess with this right now. And then at the same time, I don't want to do these pieces. This might... How should this work? Yeah, okay. I know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do something here. We're gonna clone this. I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it right there. And we're just gonna squimsh it all the way down. Like that. And then basically I want a little bit of space in between both of my pieces right here. A lot of space, but it's still some. Okay. And then I'm gonna just convert this to an editable poly. Oops. And I'm gonna select that bottom face right here. And I'm doing that. So that's gonna put a hole in our piece that I can make this, because I really want to do all of this, or as much parts as I can out of one piece rather than multiple pieces, just because it works out just a little bit easier with mapping. And I think it's on the X too. Yeah, alright. So now, standard primitive, compound objects, boolean, subtract, add operands. Boom. Boom. Now this did something interesting. It acted as a pro-boolean, almost. Well, and it makes sense, because it's all a solid object. I didn't remove the back face, which I'm gonna do. then I'm gonna remove these faces so we can do our, well, jeez. We can do this. Okay, so now we're gonna do something pretty cool, because I just had the idea. This will work out a little bit nicer for what I want to do. So we're gonna go around this whole thing. And I'm just gonna outline it. Outline that outer edge with the line tool, and you kind of see what we're going to be doing with this. This is going to allow us to create a shape without all these Boolean deals going on. And it'll just be that much cleaner. So, got that. And I'm just going to take this piece, just in case we need it, so I'm going to put it back out. Right there, make sure that's all good. Then we're going to do an extrude. And I'm just going to put it out at like 500 millimeters, because why not? We'll actually do 5 millimeters. And then I'm going to bring this back real quick. Convert it to the editable poly. That drops our polygon count significantly, which is nice. And then I'm going to not do that. I'll just bring that face out right there. Center that to object real quick. What did I just do? It's like, what the heck? Alright. So, there, we kind of have this set up now decently well. And then I do want these inner edges missing, because those ain't gonna help us. And then I'm going to delete the back face as well, because I don't want that either. And then I'm gonna delete that, which is gonna be great. And I'm gonna select these two edges, because we're gonna make our little thing. This little lip piece that comes down. And this is pretty straightforward. Just like that. No, I just want the one selected. And then do our target weld. And I'm trying to be very, very particular with how I do this. Just because I don't want to really mess anything up. We can go ahead and remove that edge. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So now we have that. Now I'll take these edges, do a sphere. It's a very small chamfer, very small, nothing crazy. 1 millimeter. I said 1 millimeter. I'll give it 2 two edges right there. And now I'm trying to select this whole border deal right now so I can add its chamfer before I go and do anything else. We'll do this. That selected everything, and now I'll just go and deselect that, so just that outer edge. Actually, I just want one. One all around. Dang it. Okay. Chamfer. One. And then chamfer. Yeah. That's perfect. Right there. Kinda, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. And then bring that edge kinda right there. Right? I don't really know how I'm gonna do this, to be honest. My goodness. So it kinda does that. You know what? Not gonna overcomplicate it. Which means, do I need to go back and redo all of this? I have no idea right now. Yup. Oh man. That's what I get for being burnt out about this. Cause I actually need this whole space to be just a little bit thinner, it looks like. I was thinking the way I was gonna do it is get them like that. But I don't think that that's gonna work very well. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. Oh well. So we have an idea of what we want, at least. Cylinder. Okay. Okay. So how do we want to go about doing this? Do I want to smooth? No, we're not going to smooth it right now. Because I don't want that interfering with anything. Hide all. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Quick. Bring that forward. This is easy enough to do. Compound. Choose boolean. Subtract. Operands. Boom. So, we get that. And then, that's what I need to do. I need to take the edge here. I just need to bring it in. Right about there. That'll work out just fine. Huh. What is going on here? Are these not in... Something ain't right. Something ain't quite right. And I know why it ain't quite right. That's so dumb that would happen. Make sure your pivots are exact before you start mirroring stuff. I was like, what is going on? Oh my gosh. Thank you, 3DS Schmacks. Line. Same idea, I just had to fix a whole bunch of junk. give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, I have returned. The actual process here. Oh man, so I guess we're people are starting to expect some snow all over the US, so that's pretty cool. Starting to get close to winter time. That's always exciting. If you're still watching this, again, I wanna, shameless plug. There is a Discord server that is out there for people who want to, engage with other content creators. So there should be a link in the description for that. So if you're interested in checking that out, go ahead, hit the link, join the chats, talk about content creation, talk about whatever. You don't have to just be a modeler, you could be a skin artist too. But, the main purpose was to have a good time, have some fun, learn your trade, because, and I keep preaching this, basically, content creation can be kind of an intimidating thing for a lot of people. And in the trains community, there's always this, people will ask, hey, can you make content for me? And people will, well, learn to make it yourself. And, there's a truth to that, where you can't really be dependent on everybody to make content for you. If you have specialty content that you want. And there's something fun in being able to learn how to create content as well. It gives you something to do, a new hobby to enjoy. So the reason for the chat, one of the big reasons for having that chat, is to just kind of provide a place for people to go share their work in progress, not like, sharing stuff, because there's content eulogy rules, you can't share content or whatever. But, you can share photos of work in progresses that you're doing, ask questions, teach people, kind of be that helping hand. So I found that to be kind of a neat opportunity for people to kind of try and take advantage of. So go ahead, take a look at that. Big purpose for the chat, though, and I want to make this clear, is mainly for people who want to get into content creation. So it's important to remember that. Remember what the chat's for. It's not necessarily a trains community chat or something like that for people to go in and start poking people like, hey, can you make this? Can you make this? It's mainly for people who are content creators or aspiring to be content creators, hence the novice tags. And I guess I'll start being a little more, making sure people are still. You either have a guru tag or a novice tag in there, or something. I don't know. The main thing, though, is it isn't for. It's not necessarily for community relations. So don't be going in there thinking, oh, I'm going to just talk to everybody and just, use it as a way to see cool pictures, because it's more than that. It's really there to help aspiring content creators so that they have a means of learning, having a means of asking people questions that might be difficult to find, or sometimes you just don't know how to word something right. So it's a good way to get involved and do that. So I'm always out to help teach people content creation. Because I was in those shoes at one point. I was asking Jointed Rail to make custom cabs for stuff, and they kept saying, "Well, make it yourself." And I opened up 3ds Max for the first time in my life and said, "Holy cow, that's pretty freaking scary." And then the rest is history. I actually started learning how to 3D model, and I took on the Horizon project. So there's something to be said. So that's one of the main purposes for that chat. And I don't want people abusing that. But at the same time, I still want to provide a means for people to go out and learn how to create some content. Because there's nothing more satisfying than making something and seeing it all come together. I always thought that was one of the coolest things about this Horizon project, is just, this is all my handiwork. I made a lot of the coupler and everything. I did a lot of this myself. Actually, all of it myself. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, aside from when I first started the project, I had a friend, he made a coupler mesh that he was going to let me use, and then I later decided that I was going to make my own. So I did. So now this project, I think, is pretty much 100% mine. It's like I made all this stuff for it. Which is pretty freaking cool to say. Not a lot of people can really say that. At the same time, I also had to teach myself a lot of stuff, and it becomes kind of intimidating, and it gets to a point where you get a little bit you kind of get turned away from it. And I mean that's it's not fun to be put in those shoes. It's like you want to make content, you want to be good at it. Sometimes people need a way to learn how to do it. So that's a big reason for having that chat, is to give people a way of asking those questions and kind of getting involved with it. I definitely know programs like 3ds Max are a pain to learn. Okay, what is going on here? You know what? I think I know what's going on. I probably should have kept that capped first. That back portion. Because that'll kind of help me out a little bit here. Got some weird geometry going on, so it's being a pain in the butt. I'm just closing off some of the edges to make it a little bit more manageable. There we go. So now hopefully now if I select that, then now I can cap that off. Yeah, buddy. We ain't done yet though. Got a couple things we're doing. then I got that one going right to the corner right there. So again, you kind of see again what I'm talking about. You gotta bridge stuff, otherwise it just freaks out. And it's kind of weird. Like, I understand why, but at the same time, the geometry just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me with why it would struggle with something that I assume, to at least in my head, is a little bit is simple, but you know. Now we're just adding a couple vertices here so that we can. I'm just gonna rough guesstimate this real quick. Okay, so those are all the same. Weld these together. Alright. That ain't gonna work. But I feel like there's a way we can get it to work, possibly. I mean, shoot. I'm curious already though, like what would... Let's go ahead, do the smooth. Alrighty. I like what I see here. What do you guys think? I think so far so good. It's looking kind of legit. So I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you for watching. It's been this is a long stream for one part. A lot of research, a lot of stuff having to go down on it, trying to figure out new methods. But I think what we got is something that looks pretty solid. Something really close to what I was going for, pretty much, which is pretty awesome to say. So, anywho, next thing I'll be doing is modeling the springs and the well, kind of quote unquote the springs, and that'll be pretty much it for this model, for this MU receptacle, and then we'll go attach it to the Horizon coach. So I'm gonna go ahead, save this. I'm gonna end the stream. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you stuck around to the very end. I know these aren't very structured. I'm learning stuff myself kind of as I go. Maybe someday I'll do more of a scripted episode or something for modeling. But till then, guys, take care, take it easy, have a great day, rest of your evening. Stay warm if you're cold, stay cool if you're hot, and check out the Discord in the description. Again, it's mainly for people who want to get involved with content creation. It's not a fangirl Discord for people to go, all out fangirl on. But if you're really wanting to learn how to reskin, how to model, you want to talk to other modelers or reskinners, share your pictures with them, work in progress photos, little tips and tricks and how-tos, I mean, feel free to check that out, join in, have a good time, and I hope to see you guys around on the next stream. Thanks for watching. Do it for Dale.